Today, we, the CPM team, will present our analysis and recommendation for the Zurich Enterprise Challenge. As a representative of the CPM team, I will give an introduction of our presentation. Afterwards, the other two team representatives will explain the analysis method, main risk and mitigation strategies, and additional risk factors of our investment attractiveness concept. Finally, I will conclude the presentation. Hematite Capital Management based in the USA is looking to take advantages of current global investment trends in the mining sectors. To reach a final recommendation, 10 countries will be analyzed to identify the 3 most attractive countries and possible mitigation strategies for the risk investor could face. Our concept of investment attractiveness in the mining sector takes into account project and country attractiveness. To develop the recommendation per country, we will focus on country attractiveness rather than project attractiveness. To do a thorough analysis, a study will be conducted using the data from the Zurich Risk Room tool.
Factors that were given in the Zurich Risk Room were divided in 4 levels, from low significance to high importance. The medium and high factors are the most important factors contributing to country attractiveness. The risk in red from the country attractiveness concept are included in the Risk Room analysis. The analysis was developed using 3 different aspects. First, an overview of the 10 countries' risk using the Risk Room tool. From this data, the 3 countries were identified with overall lower risk: Australia, Chile, and Botswana. The second phase of the analysis was made with a weighted risk analysis tool that was developed by our team. The tool is described in the slide. First, a scale was developed to measure the risk level on the box and whisker diagrams from the Zurich Risk Room. To assign a quantitative value to each risk for analysis, weights was assigned to each level of risk, as can be seen on the slide, and to each risk group. Finally, the risk of each country is calculated and displayed on the histogram. The slide is a representation of the method we use to assign weights to each risk factor from the different countries. As we can see, Australia, Chile, and Botswana has the lowest risk overall. The histogram on the slide is an enlarged version of the histogram showed in the previous slide, presenting the risk ranking of the 10 countries of the analysis. As shown again, Australia, Chile, and Botswana are the 3 countries with the lowest risk. Compared to Hematite's country, USA, we can see that the overall risk in the USA is much lower compared to the other countries. The third part of the analysis shows the percentage growth of the 10 countries in the last 5 years. This verifies our conclusion of the rank analysis. Compared to Hematite's country, USA, we can see that the overall growth rate in the USA is 0 compared to other countries. In our opinion and external sources, investing in a growing country leads to more opportunities.
For each detected risk, our team thought about at least one possible mitigation strategy. Starting with Australia, in order to reduce the impact of China's slowdown, agreements with other countries could be made to secure exportations through future contracts. However, on a long-term approach, the next China countries could substitute the future mining exportations from Australia. Strengthening mining associations in the country could provide better guidance related to government regulations. The main risks presented by Chile, as seen in the Zurich Risk Room, point to China's slowdown and inflation. However, it also shows seismic activity with higher levels compared to all the 9 other countries. According to additional research sources, we identified infrastructure conditions as another main risk in Chile. The mitigation plan for the China slowdown is the same as for Australia. Inflation could be faced by keeping track of short-term investments in dollar currency. Related to seismic activities, insurance policies, well-structured contracts, and investment in seismic measuring tools could reduce the effects of future earthquakes. The mitigation for the infrastructure risk could first be done by limiting investments by strategic regions of Chile, and in the far future by improving roads. The main risks from Botswana are very similar to Chile, adding only the difficulty in dealing with construction permits, for which a mitigation plan would be related with strengthening mining associations in the country. On the slide, the influence of the mitigation strategies in the short term, and here in the long term. Further studies that we consider relevant before defining the best country to invest in would be related to environmental regulation, infrastructure and technology, availability of labor with required skills, as well as the quality of the geological database.
The final recommendation for Hematite Capital Management firm would consist of a short-term and long-term strategy. In the short term, we recommend investing in Australia as a developed country that has a long history in mining industry. On the other hand, in the long term, invest in developing countries, Botswana, with the focus on the diamond and gold commodities, and as alternative, Chile if the focus is on copper and coal. To conclude the presentation, the following points were addressed. First, the investment attractiveness concept has been used to identify the factors related to the risk on investing in mining industries. The analysis method was a three-part analysis: Zurich risk rule, weightage calculation, and a GDP growth. The three countries identified and selected are Australia, Chile, and Botswana. Main overall risk and mitigation strategies were identified as dependency of China in the most of the countries analyzed. For developing countries, in this case Chile and Botswana, inflation and dealing with construction permit were found main risks. In a developed country as Australia, burden of government and employment of workers play more risks that require a mitigation strategy. Our recommendation is investing in Australia for the next 1 to 3 years and look into other potential in Botswana and Chile in the long term.